1 p.m. and I will call the meeting into order.
Thank you, Commissioner Smith, for calling the meeting to order. We'll now have a roll call. Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Cousins,
Here.
Commissioner Zakos,
Here.
Commissioner Wolf,
Here.
Commissioner McPherson,
Here.
Commissioner Decker,
Here.
Commissioner Black is absent, but we do have a quorum. First order of business.
Jeff, before you go any further, I think the camera might be set on blur background, which is doing some weird stuff with the
Oh, is that why it looks
that's-
like that?
yeah.
Santa Claus.
No problem. I'll
Sorry.
correct that.
Here comes Santa Claus.
There you go. That is, you got it.
Apologize for the view. That was probably before another meeting. Please forgive me.
No, thank you.
The first order of business is approval of the minutes for February 2025. They've been submitted a week prior with the packet. Are there any questions?
No, thank you, Linda. I'll make that motion.
A motion is made by Commissioner Smith,
I'll second.
seconded by Commissioner Zakos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The same right? Let's have it. The second order of business is approval of accounts payable for February 2025. Are there any questions? May I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Smith makes the motion. Is there a second?
I second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Decker. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The motion carries. The next order of business, I'll just do a brief executive director report. First off, unfortunately, we do not have any hot water in the building. Today, there was the hot water boiler blew, the motor blower as well as a gas valve. So we ordered the parts immediately from Adirondack. Yeah. I'm sorry, difficult time saying that company's name, but they ordered the piece. The fastest we could have gotten it tomorrow, but we would have had to have staff drive 5 hours to Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, which didn't really make any sense because that would take 5 hours to go and come back. So the part should be here Wednesday, so no later than Wednesday. The hot water will be restored to full power. So we do apologize for any inconvenience. All the residents have been notified by posting those notices. Unfortunately, that's not something that we would have in stock, and that company doesn't keep that in stock as well, but we're gonna get the part and I will stay on it until it is resolved. The second thing is that we did, myself, some of the board members, as well as the development team, our development partners did attend the planning board meeting on last week, and it was a very good meeting. It was a preliminary introduction of our project to the planning board. There were some questions, but again, it was just an introduction. We are scheduled to return on April 8th for the next meeting. However, to ensure that our plan is solid and all things are together, because it's such a short time, we don't believe that we're gonna make it to that meeting, but we will inform the planning board, but we'll definitely be at the main meeting with the complete presentation. We're also, to that end, we're also working with, we're still working with HCDPA to close on the properties that we plan to purchase from them to be a part of the project. There's some wording that we had, there was some debate about it, and we wanted to get that shored up. So our attorney has sent that back to HDCPA, and that could be presented to the planning board and they can vote on that issue and we can move forward. Next, we had an audit on 3/5/2025, and it went well. We'll wait for it. We have to submit by the end of the month, so we'll wait to get the report. But everything went smooth as far as I know. And typically if there's anything I need to be alerted to, they'll make that indication. even before they give it in writing, but they didn't, so I'm assuming everything went well. To that end, the RFP has also been released. It should be posted on the Nice Spada website, which, by the way, they have a new website. It's pretty nice. And it's also going to be posted. It's been sent to our web host to post on our website, because this was our last year, the option year of our agreement with the auditor for audit services. So that is out there. It'll be on the website, and I believe I've given them till April, I've posted till April 30th, to get responses so we can, get back the solicitations, score them, so that I can present them on the board to vote, to move forward. And the last thing I want to announce, even though it's early, I still want to announce that we have our Tenant Appreciation Day upcoming. It's in June. We have our tentative date will be June 27th, 2025. So we want to make sure that we advertise it to as well as possible so we can get as much community involvement as possible. And that's it for the executive director report. At this time, are there any residents who have any public comment? Seeing none, we'll move to, there is no new business, and there are no resolutions. Is there a need for executive session today? No, no need for executive session. Are there any public comments? Please raise your hand so I can see you if you're online and you'd like to make a comment. Okay, I don't see anybody from the online. Anybody in the audience have any comment?
No, that somebody came to me that was a resident. Can I say what they asked me? A resident came in and asked about when they do the new buildings, if people that can't pay rent here, how was it gonna work with the electric when it's over there? I told her to watch. And she was unable to make it to the meetings, but I did tell her she can watch them online. And that it would be in discussion at later meetings about it.
We will discuss it at later meetings, but let me just make sure that I understand. Or can you repeat your question so I can ensure I understand it properly?
She wanted to know is if people can't pay their rent, even if it's $50 here, and they're able to go over to the new building, how are they gonna be able to pay the electric plus, you know, right along with the rent? Cause she was unclear about that.
Understood. So the question is, how will people be able to, if they're not paying their rent or practicing paying their rent in a timely fashion or on time, how will they handle an additional responsibility of taking on utility?
Correct.
And actually, you and I have spoken about this
Yes.
before. But just so the public will know, there will be a utility allowance. So I'll give you an example. If a resident's rent is $50 for, or let's say 400 for a 2-bedroom, just to give an example, and their utility bill is $100 a month, they will get a utility allowance. And so instead of paying $400 a month, they will pay $300. That additional money is supposed to be used for the utility bill. In addition to that, it is our hope and our plan that because the building will be energy efficient, that the utility charges will be less and manageable. And so we're hoping that people will actually be able to have more money in their pocket as opposed to having a strain to pay their rent. But it is their responsibility to fulfill that obligation. We will do as much coaching and teaching as possible to help prepare residents for that. And any other ideas, I'm more willing to be entertained, but that's how it will work. Okay, thank you for that question. Yes, ma'am.
So you mean that in this building, nobody has to pay, the tenants don't have to pay utilities, but in the new building, they will?
Right, they don't pay in this building, but they do, the residents in the Columbia Apartments do pay their utilities.
Okay, so okay, but in the new
So it's not
building,
an unusual practice, but in the new building, the residents will pay their own utilities. yes.
okay. Right, thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions? Okay. Commissioners time, are there any comments by any of the commissioners online? Commissioner Wolf, do you have anything? Commissioner Cousins, do you have anything?
I do not.
Do any commissioners present have anything?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to adjourn.
And I second it.
Yes, the motion has been made by Commissioner Zaklas and seconded by several people.
By
By
Decker.
Commissioner Decker. All those in favor say aye.
Wait, hold on.
Is there a question?
No question.
Okay. All those opposed have the same right. Thank you, everyone, for attending our meeting. We'll meet next week on the third Monday of April. Happy spring, everybody.
Oh, yeah, happy late birthday.
Bye-bye.
Uh,